Hello, Darklings! I am back with another sketchbook show and tell. This is for sketchbook number 9. So we've got a pretty random mix of stickers again. This is from my shop that I work at, a local punk shop. Some Angel Spit, Shadow Windhawk, a horror punk band, a Sovereign, Alchemy Coffee, a local place. Getting to Grey Whale, which is another local place. This is admittedly not quite my favorite sketchbook, but again, sketches are filled with messes. So this was making fun of a Tumblr post that I found where a vampire and a human are roommates, and the human almost drank the vampire's heated up blood in a coffee mug. So it was silly, but entertaining. Tried to get the history of rock from School of Rock. So I was reading, this book is from about 3 years ago. I was reading The Raven Boys at the time, and so this was from one of the nightmares that one of the boys had in that book. Went and saw Shaun of the Dead, which I've actually seen in the theater more than once. I also reread Holly Black's The Darkest Part of the Forest, so I drew Severin again. Lots of experimenting with ballpoint in this. This ended up being a tattoo design. Let's see, I saw Clerks in the theater, saw Panic at the Disco and Weezer, and saw Korn and Rob Zombie the week before. This is the first time I went to that venue, and the second time. I think this was based off of the Raven Boys again, but I'm not entirely sure. Saw SLC Punk in the theater. Saw the new Ghostbusters movie, which I really enjoyed, although I know not everyone did. This was just having fun doodling. I don't necessarily know what it's supposed to be, but it was entertaining. From seeing Videodrome in the theater. This, I believe, was trying to describe a tattoo design. This was one of the worst tattoo experiences I had in my apprenticeship, which was trying to get a tattoo done for a deaf girl who had a bad interpreter, and the whole thing was just a mess. I went through a vampire phase in August of that year because every summer I kickstart my vampire phase, so here's Tom Cruise's Lestat. However, a young Rutger Hauer was pretty much how Anne Rice envisioned Lestat, so I found a picture of him from the 70s. Went and saw Akira in the theater. I hated it, and a lot of people got mad at me for hating it because it gave me a major migraine. From seeing Psychedelic Furs in the church, I was one of the youngest people there, drawing some Louis from Interview with the Vampire. From seeing Suicide Squad, so I can make fun of it because it just was not a very good movie. Saw the documentary One More Time with Feeling with Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. It was about their new album at the time, Skeleton Tree, and it was a great documentary. Seeing Legend in the theater. Some of these tickets don't age very well. Seeing Voltaire and Stoneburner. That was kind of a fun night. Voltaire was very drunk that night, and we had an interesting time drawing Keira Knightley. I was starting to do a personal comic, and I just never finished it, and that's probably for the better. From seeing Trainspotting, which is still a movie I have mixed feelings on. From seeing The Host, the Korean film, which was really good, really good. I'm glad I saw it in the theater. It definitely helped a lot because as far as creature features go, that one was more complicated and interesting. From seeing Heart, Joan Jett and the Black Hearts, and Cheap Trick, that was a fun night. I took a friend of mine who really loves Joan Jett, won the tickets in a raffle. Again, inspired by a lot of ridiculous things, including Anne Rice in the summer. Seeing Kubo and the Two Strings. I really love Leica feature films, and Kubo was an excellent movie that more people need to see. Let's see, from seeing A Clockwork Orange, from seeing Echo and the Bunnymen, seeing the Shadowcast showing of Reap of the Genetic Opera, seeing The Cult. Went to a lot of concerts that October. And this is the first time I ever did Inktober, so these were just trying to make kind of monsters, and they were all wearing outfits that I wore that month. So this is from about 2.5 years ago. So these are all things that I actually wore. I was trying to come up with a video list. I don't know how well it turned out. But these are all outfits of mine that I had from a couple of years ago. They were really messy, but it was still a lot of fun. So this is from when I saw Ghost, when Popestar came out. And it was really funny because one of the girls that was handing out the communion wafers apparently followed me on Instagram, and she gave me one of the little wafers. I've never seen a communion wafer in person before, so that was funny. So Little Pixie. This This is a very half-assed sketch. So this is when I saw a ghost. That was kind of what I wore. My Bowie Mephistopheles doodle that when I tried to put it on Redbubble got taken down for license reasons, which is ridiculous. From seeing Drag Me to Hell. From seeing Black Sabbath. The End with actually Ozzy. This was kind of a weird night because it's the one and only time I've seen Black Sabbath, and I didn't have a great time because I spent more time trying to drive 1 mile to the parking lot in bad traffic than I did actually watching the band, so it kind of tainted the whole night. I can't remember what the purpose was of this sketch. I totally forgot about it too. But the Inktober's were interesting. It was the first time I'd ever done them, and they're super messy. I mean, they never really got better. Okay, this is from One More Time with Feeling. This is from seeing Labyrinth in the theater again, which I've seen several times. So, Scarecrow, Selkie. This ended up turning into a short story idea. Vampire. Holder, which is a Scandinavian fairy creature. A dryad. I was trying to come up with a bunch of Lovecraft-related stuff. Again, I'll get videos eventually for it. It just takes an eternity. Bad sketches that didn't pan out. I don't know what that thing is. From seeing Rocky Horror Picture Show again, because I've seen it a great many times. La Llorona, and the Kichisaki Onna. I probably pronounced that wrong. Anyway, the slit-mouthed woman from Japanese folklore. Don't know a ton of yokai or ghost stories from Japan, but I know a couple. What's this? So this is from the October evening. I didn't actually go that year. I didn't go for a couple more years, but it's a local Halloween thing. So a good chunk of this got done through October. So here's the other October evening poster. I just appreciate that they look like old VHS tapes. Oh, hang on, I skipped a page. So some kind of horned creature. I don't know. These are just kind of fun. From ordering Vesper Moth. I think the first time. Someone who rides a Kelpie around, some kind of dragon creature. From seeing Hedwig and the Angry Inch. And it's really funny because now I actually have those tattooed. And if anyone has questions about getting your palm tattooed, don't do it. Do not do it. They don't stay very well and they hurt quite a bit. So, yeah. It's not one of my favorites, but it's still kind of a fun one. That was the first time I did Inktober, like I said, so it was interesting to try and be good about keeping up with a month-long project like that, and I've done it a couple of times since then. Anyway, till next time, Darklings.